Okay, I'm gonna go live.
I'm really fucking tired.
Oh, you're super fucking tired. Alright, we are live.
We are live.
We are live on
I'm
Saturday Night
tired.
Live. We are Sunday
It's-
Night Live.
It's Sunday Night Live.
Sunday Night Live with
It's
Ready
Sunday.
Up.
On
We know
tonight's
you're all
episode, is Kyle.
Wait, what?
I was gonna say your second name, but then I was like, no, I don't want to say your second name. It's a bad idea. Yeah.
Am I hosting? I am hosting tonight, I think.
You're hosting.
I am
Take us
hosting
away.
tonight. Take us away.
Take
Take us away,
Take us-
toys.
Take us away, toys.
Well, hello and welcome everyone to the Ready Up podcast. This is episode 14. We have gone past our unlucky number, despite the fact that 13 is in fact not an unlucky number.
This nerd here.
Tonight,
Looking at you, the church.
the church,
This nerd.
you jerks, ruining a
You
perfectly
nerd.
good number.
Perfectly good number.
Joikes.
You have
Yeah.
to ruin it. You joke.
Joik. Now, tonight we are going to talk about the first 3 episodes of Loki, because the original idea we were supposed to do was do like a half-hour live stream after Loki. But those joiks over in Disney over there decided to do it on a Wednesday instead of a Friday. What? Huh. What? Hey.
That's
Oh,
Whoa.
hey,
Hey.
Hey,
Disney's
oh.
dirty.
Go
You're
back.
dirty,
You're
Disney.
dirty, Disney.
You're
dirty,
dirty,
dirty.
ma. You're dirty.
Yeah, daddy.
We're so
And,
bad at that accent. Ah.
Just to say, we really like Disney here. We don't want the corporate
Yeah.
overlord lawyers coming after us.
Absolutely.
Who
Please.
was that?
That was my Persona 5 notification.
That's
You
the
should
Disney.
have
That's the
me.
Disney lawyers now being like, "Hey, you can't Batman us.
Hey,
You-
hey.
What are you doing? Can't be doing that.
Can't be doing that.
Can't be
now.
doing-
Can't be doing
Can't
that.
be doing this.
I know,
You are
right?
stricken.
I hear now, lads. You can't be doing that.
I hear now. Yeah,
But,
so we're gonna be talking about 3 episodes of Loki.
Loki.
Which is-
I hear now, lads. You can't be doing that.
I hear
Actually,
now.
I'm going to
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about-
turn off.
Oh, you have
my-
Loki. Yep, he has the stream going on.
My
Be
speakers.
very professional, folks.
I'm
Be
gonna put my
professional.
headset because that is my ear
Professionals.
for the kind people at home.
Right
That might
here.
also hear
Yep,
my
he has
mic.
the stream going on.
My
Be very professional, folks. Professionals.
super professional.
Have
Super
you seen?
professional.
Have you seen or heard a
Semi-professional.
better run podcast, everybody?
Here.
I don't
Oh,
think
you have
I don't think so, guys. I do not think so. I am
You show
also...
me a better podcast and I'll show you a liar.
Huh. Yeah. I'm just going
So yeah, I'll
to-
vamp while Kieran works away there.
Yeah,
so how you doing,
totally.
everybody? How you
I
doing?
mean,
It is a
Talk to these nice
Sunday.
people.
I mean, like, he's the one who
Yes.
hit broadcast and he's the one still.
Yeah, he was the one. I was like, no,
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 do you
no,
know
we're
what?
not.
Do you
No,
know
we're
what,
live, we're live.
guys?
Oh wait, look
You
at
know
all
what?
these things I usually do before we do things that I
Do you
haven't
know?
done.
Do you know what I'm actually doing? Is that I'm actually sharing our live stream right now.
Oh,
These
Oh,
guys,
oh, look at
these
this
joints,
guy here.
these joints right here, making me feel like I'm a big silly.
You're a big silly.
Big silly.
I'm just
You're a
currently.
silly boy, man. I put that on silent.
Good. Folks, I'm going to talk to you real here. I think I'm the only professional one of us here, but it's fine.
He's
Oh, yeah.
super
I
professional.
s-
Right.
I
Anyway,
see what it
right.
is.
Okay. Back
Your own
into the
thing now.
podcast. We are talking about Loki tonight. The original idea was that we were going to live stream after every episode, give our thoughts. That didn't go to plan. Last week we wanted to talk about E3 because it was one of the biggest game events of the year. So this week we're going to jump on the Loki train because E3 was
Choo
bad.
choo.
Yeah, choo choo.
Spoiler
Choo.
alert: there was
Spoiler
a
alert.
train in Loki.
No, you see that joke?
was.
It landed.
Making connections.
He planned that
I
so
did.
long ago.
So long ago. All right,
So long
so we're going to start off our segment with the usual. What are we drinking? What are we playing? What are we watching, guys? So who wants to take it first? Kyle, do you?
I will.
Oh, Brian.
I forgot. I forgot to get a drink.
That's fine. I currently have no drink, which I'm very disappointed about, but it's okay. I will get one soon. What am I watching? Well, I just happen to be watching a little show called Loki.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
if you guys have heard of it.
No,
Give us a
I-
quick
give us a
recap.
quick- yeah.
Yeah,
it's just a little-
it's
little
about
thing.
a man and his dog.
Oh, that's
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'd,
nice.
I'd watch that.
wholesome.
Yeah.
I'd watch that.
Wholesome.
Yeah, wholesome.
Thank you. Yeah. And then one of my no, so yeah, well, obviously we'll talk about Loki now. But one of my playing Not a whole lot at the moment. I've just started Mass Effect 3 remaster. Cool. And I've started the DLC for.
Oh, sorry, I'm just gonna have to disconnect Kyle there. I think he's
he's
having
gone.
technical issues.
He's gone. Sorry, folks.
Just
Also, if anyone's watching this and they're wondering, my microphone is weird. My mic stand is broken. There you go. That's
No one's
slightly better.
watching. Don't worry.
No one's watching. It's fine. They'll listen
Still,
to
he
this
sounds
later.
good. He sounds good. Oh, well.
As long as I sound okay, as long as this
you
voice
sound good.
sounds,
You sound
it's
good.
all good. But what am I playing? I'm also playing. Just started the DLC for Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, so the Yuffie DLC, which is a very very popular character from the original game.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. It's great to be back in Midgar again, and Yuffie is such a good character because she's so annoying and such a dork and such a nerd, and it's amazing. It's great. I've only started, so I'm not too far into it, but it's been very fun. It's great being able to play the game again then on PS5 here at 60 frames. It's just that game runs beautifully at 60 frames. Yeah, and Karen will know this one. They brought Fort Condor into it.
Oh yeah,
Fort Condor is now a board game, and it is exactly like the original, and it's amazing, and I love it. But that's all I've been doing. Not much. Working, and
Working until 5.
working. I'm just trying to make a living. Yeah, so that's it. So I'll pass it off to Kyle here. Kyle, what have you been doing?
Embezzlement.
Oh,
What
nice.
did you do?
A little bit of
That's pretty
arsenary.
Anything good? Yeah, you know.
No. Turns out
Oh.
the country's pretty broke, so didn't get much out of it.
That
Not much
sounds
to
alright.
embezzle. Anyway, other
Yeah,
than
that's true.
that, other than that, yes, I've been also watching this little show called Loki. I literally finished it
Oh.
about 2 hours ago.
Oh.
Seriously, guys, what is
very-
the show
Very,
Loki?
very, very fresh in the mind now, so I've many points to bring up.
That's good.
Many
good.
devil's advocate points to bring up.
Ooh, nice, nice.
As
what I like.
for games, I got because I was really curious because the reviews were lukewarm to say the least. It's the new Wizards of the Coast Dark Alliance game.
Knew you were gonna say.
Oh yeah, that does not seem to be getting good reviews at all.
It's a weird one, because I heard some people giving out to about its graphics and saying, why does it look like an Xbox 360 game? I'm not entirely sure if people just weren't aware that maybe they had their graphics set arseways or something like that, because it was for me and I just upped it and then it looked like a good game, so I'm kind of confused by that. I mean, it is also stylized graphics, so it
Yeah.
just looks as it is, which is
Mm.
very colorful and good. It looks good. I don't know what the hell part that was anyway. But I heard several people say it looks like crap, and I genuinely like sitting there going, I'm really unsure where people are coming with this. Maybe just check out your graphic settings there, mate. But I have biggest thing I
good
heard was
graphics.
No,
Yeah.
but my video game.
the biggest thing I heard was a lot of people saying the combat is super clunky, and it definitely is.
Oh yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of Monster Hunter World, where it's like, here's how you can block and here's how you can dodge. But by the way, if you start the animation of combat, also like Final Fantasy VII actually, if you
Yeah, once you
start the
start-
animation of combat, you're not allowed stop.
Mm.
You're not allowed block. You're not allowed like dodge, or you can sort of dodge sometimes. It's really weird. Sometimes you can dodge, other times you kind of can't, and it's a bit unpredictable. But everyone kept saying like the first hour or so, it's tough. Like it doesn't in any way captivate. No, I never played the older games, where everyone's saying like the co-op was the big selling point for a lot of people, that you can literally play with another person on the same console, proper old school 2-player game. And I think a lot of people were very much anticipating that this would continue that on, because there isn't a whole lot of 2-player, like actually sit down one console 2-player play. It's all co-op in terms of being online and everything, which this is also. So I think maybe some people might be sour because of that, which I understand, because if you grew up playing a game of that nature and you like playing it with your friend or whatever, I can see why you might be annoyed if you were looking forward to it and then it doesn't give you the thing that you were kind of looking forward to. Other than that, so far it's just very okay. Like I was told it'll take a few hours, and I did play like 45 minutes. I was like, after a first mission, I was kind of like, I kind of want to go play something else now. It's like I'll come back to you, but probably not that soon.
Probably next
I'll get
year.
when I sit down and have one of those moments where I'm like, what the hell am I doing today? I'm not in the mood to play any of my regular games. Yeah, I might well play Dark Alliance, see if that's gotten any better. But yeah, I kind of just have to break through that wall of just getting it over and done with, apparently. And then apparently it gets a lot better. Supposedly.
Okay.
We'll wait and see.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been, yeah.
Yeah,
that.
I've heard it's the most like mediocre game you could get. It's not bad, not good. It's just if you're looking to just play average, it's the game.
Oh,
for
I do
you.
I do have one major complaint actually. Sorry.
okay.
I had to say this because this just seems like bullshit to me. Like
Mhm.
it's Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's neither dungeons nor dragons.
Nor
Oh no.
dragons.
Oh, there's dungeons and there are dragons, but you can only play. I don't know if there's something later on that happens that lets you choose or make your. Who knows? There's 4 people to choose from in your characters: a
Right.
barbarian, a fighter, and a ranger.
That makes no sense.
I'm just kind of sitting here like, okay, so one of the fighters is like a tank, and the other one is like a roguish kind of person, and then there's Ranger, obviously. But I'm kind of just sitting there like, I'm sorry, this is D&D. Where the hell are all the magic users?
Does everyone else? Yeah. There's like.
What? You give me 4 choices, and not one of them can cast a freaking spell?
Nah,
It's kind of stupid.
What?
that's
What?
asking too much.
Where the hell's my warlock? Where's my sorcerers? What bullshit is this?
Where's my
So that-
goddamn wizards?
Where's my goddamn flashy lightning
Yeah,
ball?
where's my lightning man?
I want to cast fireball, damn it.
Yeah, where's my firebolt or ball? Or where's my
Sorry, fireball, yes. Where's
Yeah,
my meteor
where-
storm?
yeah, where's my
where's all the
Tasha's
cool
hideous
shit?
laughter? Where's my cool shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not even a bard. Come on.
We're not even
man.
a bard. My
Come
favorite
on.
class, bard. No vicious
Not
mockery
even.
there.
Oh, vicious mockery is
Yeah.
bad. I'd love that. I'd love it if you could hit vicious mockery in this game and then type out the insult, and
That'd be
depending how good it was, it'll actually do damage.
I've had some great ones in my actual campaign.
Somehow the algorithm is able to know whether or not this was
Oh,
a
it's
good
savage.
burn in
If it's
context.
savage or not,
Oh,
yeah.
It was like, the computer itself is like, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
One of my
Max,
oh.
one of my
Christ,
favorite
Christ.
PG one of my favorite PG one I used in my campaign was somewhere out there you're depriving a village of its idiot.
Oh, they're idiot. Yes, I love that one. It's one of my favorite ones. I've heard it just like being. I've heard of that one, except just like somewhere out there there's a village missing their idiot.
Missing their idiot, yeah.
You're lost or something like that.
Or cutting words is another one Bard's Hire where you can reduce the
Mitigate
damage,
yeah.
mitigate a damage. And one I said to some guy was like, "Hey, whoa. Don't you know does your mother know you're out here?" And he did miss, so he was like, "Yeah." Does she
Wait,
know
does
that?
Just
Oh,
sitting
fuck.
down like Jesus. I was
I need to
brother in
go.
years.
I need to go tell
What
my
if she's
mom,
alright?
man.
But anyway, Loki, guys. We're
Excuse
Oh,
me.
wait. Sorry, Karen.
Oh,
What
no.
have you been
Whoa.
watching or playing?
Whoa.
So Loki.
Wow, that is wow.
You're fine, Kieran. You're grand. So Loki.
Look,
Yeah,
I don't need
Loki.
to. I don't need to talk about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
What you be playing, man? What you be playing? We know what you've been playing.
Yeah, look, watching. I don't know what this Loki show that you guys are talking about, but I've been watching a little show. It's really, really cool. It's fun. It's the characters are good. It's called Loki. It's
Yeah,
yeah,
I've heard of Loki. Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely, yeah. If you guys
Mixed
hadn't heard of
reviews.
it, I'd be surprised.
That's perfect.
But no, I haven't really been playing anything really because I like finished Ratchet and Clank like last week, platinumed it.
Oh.
Jumped back into Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Miles
Miles
Morales.
Miles Morales. I have been playing that. But like all week, I just haven't really been playing anything. I was playing Farm Together with Baven. It's just essentially like a mobile game, but for a console. You just like plant stuff and harvest it. I really like farming games.
So not Stardew Valley.
It's not. Yeah, it's like a 3D version of Stardew Valley, essentially.
It's not Farmville.
That's not Farm. Yeah, it's essentially 3D version of Farmville, kind of actually. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but I haven't really actually been playing anything. I probably will because I have my disc version of my PS5.
Yay!
Didn't take me long.
This man got two
you're
PS5s.
I do. I now have 2 PS5s. I don't know why it's so hard for you people to buy a PS5. But I'm going. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. No, it's. I was very, very lucky, and really, I'm planning on selling my digital for face value. I do not want to reap any benefits from it. I just want.
I'm
someone
sorry.
to enjoy
So
it.
you actually have 2 PS5s?
I have 2 PS5s right now. I won't for longer. I'm gonna sell it and let someone else enjoy that and get in on that action. But I really, the first thing I installed was Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I plan to get the Yuffie episode and dive into that pretty much soon.
Cool.
Kyla's gone because he's frozen, but he will be back.
Oh, I just thought he was like, no, you got 2 PS5s now.
Oh, you got, yeah, he's just like, you got 2 PS5s? Fucker. Fuck that guy.
No, I think just froze. I don't know why.
Yeah,
he's back.
Okay.
He's coming.
Oh,
now we all know
he's
what
never
camera he
replaced
is.
by he is a Lumix, everybody.
I have a Lumix, but it's been weird. One second.
Yeah, that's it.
That's okay.
I'm drinking a cup of tea. That's it.
Ooh, nice. Nice. Oh,
Yeah,
so
actually, there's before we jump into cups, because I just want to mention it just before Kyle comes back because he's probably struggling with his camera right now. There's a cool. Yeah, so I'm just gonna. There's a cool game. I haven't played it yet, but I thought I'd recommend it because it looks amazing, and I know you guys really enjoyed Doom. And you guys, I'm not sure if you like Warhammer 40k.
I do not, but I know a lot of people who do.
Okay, it's a new game that was released at the start of the month. It's called Necromunda Hired Gun. It's set in the Warhammer 40k universe, and you're just like a mercenary. It's a play style that's literally just like Doom, flying around, shooting down anything you can, and there's metal music in the background.
Yeah, you just gotta say Doom and I'm
it's literally just
sold.
Doom. Yeah. Oh, Kyle's
He's back. He's wonderful faces back.
But absolutely, if you guys love Doom kind of gameplay or Doom kind of shooter games, check out Necromunda. It's I think it's only like 40 quid as well. You get it on Steam and I think it's on PlayStation, Xbox as well. Check that out because I'm gonna go buy it and play it and see what it's like. But apparently, like a lot of people, are like, that's pretty decent.
And then let us know a quick review.
I will next time.
A future episode.
Yeah.
Future episode.
So guys,
okay, so shall we break into tonight's topic?
Tonight's topic,
Yes.
is Loki.
Goddamn, we're bad at this.
Okay, straight away, I'm just going to say it because it's the very first thing I want to talk about.
Spoilers, by the way, everybody.
Seriously,
spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah.
Just small.
Because seriously, every single
only the
time,
first 3 episodes. Spoiler.
Yeah. Every single time I have started talking about Loki, the first thing I go to is, how good is Owen Wilson?
Oh, Wilson.
In Loki.
Good.
So good. Jesus.
Absolutely.
He is phenomenal in that. And one thing I said is, you're on top of your game when you're out acting Tom Hiddleston on screen.
I wouldn't go that far because I think
no.
I wouldn't go that far just for one reason. It's like
an
actor, an actor is sometimes you could say is only as good as the person he's acting with.
Mm-hmm.
Like
absolutely,
because you look like, even though you could be actually independently acting pretty well, if the person you're interacting the dialogue with is
really
lackluster
bland
or wooden, it makes you look bad as well because you look forced or over the top.
Mm-hmm.
They just bounced off each other so well. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Owen Wilson is a bad actor or anything like that.
No.
Far from it. Like I never would have expected him to have done this role and done it so justice. But like, it was like, is the conversation, I think what you're getting at in terms of like when you saw that and went, Jesus Christ, he's doing amazing, is the deep conversation between the two of them in that interview scenario.
Yeah.
And that was like, I don't know if they had like a therapist on set to like talk to Owen Wilson, like to help with the script in that sense. But the way that he was interacting and talking to Loki is like literally would remind you of like some this like some sort of technique a therapist would use for someone who is known to be really like vocal in terms of like lots of good lord, analogies and lots of metaphors, a lot of all the kinds of stuff. He basically just let him let him just go off on his own. He just sat there kind of nodding, small little things, get him to continue on, almost like exhausting him a bit.
Yeah, kind of just prodding. Like, oh, is this
get all your self-righteous bullshit out on the table,
yeah,
and then I'll talk to you.
It was so good.
It was really well done. Absolutely.
I've always loved Owen Wilson. Like, always loved Owen Wilson. And then just seeing him in this, I'm like, it's so good to see.
Wow.
Although they have confirmed, unfortunately, that Owen Wilson would not say, "Wow." At any point.
You know what? I'm absolutely if he had have,
I'm devastated.
I know. If he had have done that during like just any point in that entire season, I'd be like, "You were doing so well, man. Why did you need to put that in?"
Oh no, I would have loved it.
Yeah, I would have. It would have been the last thing where, like, I don't know, they meet the timekeepers or whatever, and he would have been like, "Wow, wow." But yeah, what a good show it's been so far. It's been a very good show.
I'm like, first episode loved it. Second episode sort of solidified into like being good, and the third episod.
Oh, you think third episode went down? Okay, yeah.
I did not like the third episode.
I could probably see how you were. How...
Didn't not like it, but definitely
it was a slower episode.
It was more of a.
I don't think it was particularly slow. A lot happened in the third episode, but it was like
no. I mean more. It's like it was for me. The third episode was like a backstory episode where it's like. Loki's kind of exactly. Where he's kind of like you're finding little bits about Sylvie, and you're kind of creating this not like a bond, but this common ground between them. And that was that episode. It was essentially doing that, and I can completely understand that. For me as well, it was like the first episode, second episode, and then third episode. You know, but I didn't think it was a bad episode. There's
a lot of things that I sat back and watching that third episode going, you guys are it already started in the first, but a few of them I was able to sort of wave off as being like not too big of a deal, but then the third one really made me sit down and go, can you guys make up your mind about a few things, because you're changing a lot constantly about Loki's character. Loki's I'll get into later because it's the third episode. We should probably start at episode 1 and I'll go break that one down first. But there's a lot of things in it that just kind of made me just go, didn't you just no? Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah, I remember when the show was announced way back, like 2 years ago, probably now.
Yeah, it would have been.
Oh god,
they said
after like Endgame, they showed all the stuff
like,
they were going to do. Like,
and I remember my first initial reaction to it was like, I don't want this, because Loki goes on so much of a character journey from like the very first Thor movie all the way to Ragnarok, and then he changes a lot in that, and then he has a great character arc, and then they kill him off in Endgame.
Reset the character arc.
Reset the character, and I was like, cool, you've just done away with all of the progression he's just had, because the Loki that we see in Endgame go back, this Loki is the one from, is the one we see
Avengers.
Is from the first, and he's that egotistical asshole who just wants to make Daddy proud.
To be fair,
by force.
To be fair,
true force.
Yeah, and I understand. Like, I remember when you were saying to me before, where a lot of people were like, "Oh, I can't wait for Loki," you know, this like great redemption arc and stuff, and you were just like, "Yes, but the Loki we're getting is before all of that redemption."
Yeah.
But how amazing was the first episode, and the ability for, like, it's just a credit to Tom Hiddleston's acting of being able to like fit, like, I don't know, it's like a 30-second section of his entire arc. And
he watches his entire arc,
he watches his entire arc, and does the acting Tom Hiddleston has to, like, he has to convince you that 30 seconds of him watching his own arc has affected him to become a better Loki. Yeah. And I was like, oh, how, like, I don't know what they're gonna do with this, or how they're gonna kind of push towards it. and Tom Hiddleston kind of just nails it. Like, and it's straight away kind of during the interview section where like the mother is essentially brought up, and that's kind of the Kickstarter. And then once he watches the further arc, it's kind of like it's starting to push him more and more closer into being like. And it's also a double kind of team of Owen Wilson's character as well, where he's like, yeah, but what are you like? What do you actually want?
You're just a scared little boy. That's all.
Yeah. You know, I think it's a lot of back and forths, and it's a great way to kind of. I don't think Loki's character is now he's like completely the Loki that had the redemption arc, but it's kind of pushing towards it.
He's midway now.
Yeah, it's like he's starting to push back towards that, where he's like, oh, this is how my life turns out.
I mean, I don't think he'll ever get back to where he was.
No,
I don't think he's going anywhere near that.
No.
Like I don't think it's a case, because this is the thing, the resetting of his character arc. Like, don't get me wrong, I was going to saying, textbook Disney, but at the same time, textbook Marvel happens all the time. They kill off people and bring them comic books. They kill people, bring them back all the time. It's completely normal.
Yeah, they're like, we've done all we can with this character. Kill him for a year or two, and then bring him back.
It does feel a bit cheap, but at the same time, again, if you read any comics, you're used to it by now. It just happens. But I think they're a little bit smarter. Well, I hope they're going to be smart. We're only 3 episodes in now, but I hope they're going to be a little bit smarter with his quote-unquote redemption arc, because he doesn't necessarily have to have a redemption arc, because that's what he already did. He can go on about it a completely different way. He could, but it just go about it in a completely different way. Because one of the things that, first of all, that scene with him reliving his moments and everything like that, and the conversation he had with Owen Wilson's character to begin with, I had one kind of major concern, not so much with the rebooting kind of a thing, because that was just inevitably going to happen. Because Disney, Marvel, they want money, they want us to watch things. Happens. But my main concern was literally just because like Tom Hiddleston's character as Loki within the series worked so well, but we've seen a lot of characters that when they're part of something, they're a small, frequent but small part of a series or a group of people. They add a good element to the story, they add good chemistry, but having them as the sole focus doesn't always work. Like look at Joey from Friends. Joey was a hugely popular character because of how he hit with all the other characters, how they blended together. He was the most popular character on that show. They then thought that meant that'll translate to a show in which he was the main character of it. It did not. Because that was my main concern with Loki, was he going to be another one of these characters? That was completely crushed immediately at that conversation. At that conversation and at that reliving his what happened afterwards, if he had not picked up the Tesseract and everything like that. But one of the things that really made me really think Loki, I got a bit more of Loki's character. Now, for you two, I know obviously Brian, you have a brother.
I do.
How much older is your brother to you?
He's 4 years older than me now.
4 years older. Kieran, I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. And age difference?
You have a sister?
Yeah, I have a sister.
Yes. Wow.
My brother is 2 years, and then my oldest brother's 8 years. Okay, so you might understand a little bit more what I'm going to mention. The whole second child syndrome thing that Loki has, it's a very real thing. Oh, it's very real.
But obviously he takes it to an extreme as being a villain, of course. But you sympathize if you're in any, I have an older brother who's about a year. He's like what we would call an Irish twin, which is you have 2 kids within the span of the same year, kind of a thing. Growing up, when you only have a year in the difference, you're always in the same person. You're always considered not so much the same person,
but you're always under the shadow of them, because it's like you're always expected to be around each other, and you're always like the older is always expected to take care of the younger, and then the younger hates the fact that he has to be let with his older brother, kind of thing, you know.
Well, for myself, it was more that Dylan, my brother was much smaller than me, and I grew much taller than him, so I ended up having. But it wasn't that. It was more so that my brother was to me anyway, was always immensely more talented than I was in a lot of regards, in terms of writing, in terms of acting, in terms of like all these things that I really enjoyed. My brother was always better at me than it because, well, he was a year older than me and everything. He had that extra year, and when you're a kid, and a year is a long bloody time. So you get to see like, oh, the whole thing, like you show a picture kind of a thing, and the parents like, oh, that's amazing. And then the younger one shows me it's always not as good because they're not quite as coordinated yet.
That's okay.
Yeah, and
you
like
tried.
Loki's whole thing with Thor was always that Thor got all this praise that wasn't not earned. He didn't think that Thor necessarily didn't earn what he got, like. But he definitely felt a little bit of envy towards it and wanting to have a bit of that spotlight, to the point where he wanted to actually go to such lengths to get that spotlight that he would do all these horrendous things just to be put in the forefront. Now that's the evil villain side of things you can go about. But when you see what he did and his relationship and it being reflected at him, you could really see it, that he's like, I probably should have done all that.
Yeah, he's like,
probably wasn't.
And even that, do you know that moment when he's like watching back on his life and he sees like the moments of like, Thor kind of turning around to me, he's like, I always loved you.
I always looked up to you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and then
that moment, you can see you can see the tears welling in his eyes just at that. I'm like, what a great acting.
And like even when Odin was like, my sons, like I love you, my sons, and like it just, God, Tom Hiddleston in that like small little gap is just fantastic. And then obviously the section where he's running through the time offices, and he stumbled upon like the Infinity Stones, and he's just like, these are all useless, and he comes to this realization,
small he feels.
And it's just this is the most, and for how long was the Infinity arc just built up to being like the most powerful thing, and literally in 10 seconds they just went, these are
nothing.
So these are paperweights, because they are nothing. And Loki's just like, what was even the point of everything else when this right here is,
I loved it,
the ultimate power, and like it's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
I felt a little betrayed almost by that, because it was always all that build up for Endgame, and then in a TV series they're like, all that meant nothing.
I've seen some people being very angry about that, but I'm like, get over it. I think the best thing about all of that, which is why I don't believe he'll follow a similar character arc at all. He'll have a development.
I think he'll have his own. That's it.
He's going to be a new. What would be
very different from the one that we know, and the main reason why I think that is simply because he saw his own death. He literally saw what happened when he started to be good, when he started to go and actually be helpful. He saw he's getting his neck snapped, and he laughed about it, because it's like, oh my god, all this time, and even I was thinking it as he was watching it. He was thinking, maybe, oh, look at all this misery I caused, the death of my mother and all this kind of stuff. Maybe that was wrong. I shouldn't. And they see his neck get snapped. He's like, are you kidding me? I was in the midst of a self-discovery, and I just saw what would happen then. A literal spoiler on my life. Screw that nonsense. I'm not dying for nothing.
Not doing that. No,
I'm not dying just so I'm a good guy.
Because he still does have his plan that, well, we don't really know much about it, but he still wants to take over the TVA. Does he want to take over? Does he want to kill the time?
I'm still not convinced that that's what he wants, because
that's the thing. I don't think we're supposed to know at this point.
Really.
At the moment, it's more of a self-preservation.
And again, that is kind of like a credit to Tom Hiddleston, where it's like
the
writing, very much the writing. And it's one of the things where I was kind of I've said this anytime I'm talking about it, is that Falcon and the Winter Soldier very much follows closely to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's that same structure, same fighting, same story arc, same setup, everything is just very much Marvel cinema. WandaVision was a complete another out of nowhere, kind of, it was very much brand new, and until maybe the end where it kind of started to breach the Marvel Cinematic Universe a bit. Loki is again following suit with WandaVision, where it's a show that is very unique in what it's trying to do in terms of the Marvel cinema. It does have some of that, especially in episode 3 where they had like the nice fight scenes and the one cut take and explosions, falling buildings, everything. But it's very much going towards like a very unique take and a new unique series, and I'm loving this kind of approach that Marvel are doing, because it is one series. They're able to kind of explore something new. And especially one thing you said to me the other day, Brian, is that you came in, you were like, I don't know if you got this, but I felt that the third episode, and I know I'm jumping over to the third episode, and even you can see back into the first and second episode as well, that it felt like a Doctor Who episode.
That third episode felt so much like a Doctor Who episode to me.
Now look
because you were
back.
traveling through time and being
But it's like the companions, and like even being in the quarry, and like that very first chase where the meteorites are hitting the ground, that felt so Doctor Who. But even looking back in the first and the second episode as well, where you have some of the comical takes, and Loki coming through, and he's like going through the variants, and he's like has his ticket and stuff, like little bits like that, and even just all his discussions with Owen Wilson's character.
So everything you've ever said.
Ever said. What?
This is ridiculous.
Side
more. Yeah, that
But it's all very much. Yeah, it's all very much a kind of Doctor Who.
Yeah, the first episode I liked as well. When he has to go through it's essentially in our world a metal detector, but it's like, please confirm that you have a soul. And that you have a soul.
Yeah. He's like,
what if I'm not?
What if I don't know I'm not?
What if I don't know I'm not?
Destroy you.
Yeah, he's like,
I didn't like that.
No.
Yeah, I like.
If you would ask me what you think that the Loki TV series was going to be, like what kind of genre it would follow, the last thing I would have said would be a buddy cops show.
Buddy cop show. Yeah, with
him and Owen Wilson, they were a buddy cop show. For God's sake.
So good, so good. Yeah, but like, God, the first episode, I love the first two. I'm okay with the third.
Third one's fine. It is, but it does have its flaws.
I'm going off from what and I shouldn't do this, but for what Tom Hiddleston himself said, that 4 and 5 are A, bonkers, and B, his favorite of the 6. So 4 and 5 hopefully is going to be good. But yeah, we need to also just quickly mention before we get onto the whole idea of time variance and nexus points and all that, we need to just very quickly shout out to that amazing scene in the first episode of the Saturday morning cartoon animation of this is how the universe was created through time.
Yeah.
With Tara Strong as Miss Minutes.
Yeah, and she's amazing as Miss Minutes. I genuinely thought they had like gone and got Dolly Parton to do the voice.
Yeah.
I was just like, it sounded fantastic. But like, absolutely a credit to the people who animated that
was so nice,
effortlessly to look like it was a 90s cartoon. It looked amazing.
So the time, I was gonna say the Time Lords, but they're not Time Lords. What are they called?
That is Doctor Who.
They are the Time
That
Lords.
is
we are going.
What are they known this again? The Time Gods.
Agents.
The time gods, the tree-faced,
yes,
yeah,
the time gods. I can't remember their name now.
The Time Lords.
So apparently there was a multiverse, and then they kind of were like, oh, there's different timelines. Let's all condense it down into one timeline. Let's keep making it just one timeline until the end of time, and then we can sit down, as Morbius says, or Owen Wilson says, we can sit down at the end of time and enjoy it.
Crack open a beer.
So crack open a beer, because that's it. The timeline is set. Bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Don't believe a word of it.
We already know from past kind of films that they're bringing the multiverse into it. That's just like, it's one of those things of we know where it's kind of going. And even the fact of, I know in Far From Home where Mysterio is from a separate Earth, and I know kind of that's just Mysterio taking them, like that's just this whole backstory.
Well, that is how it is. Like,
but it's like you're definitely pushing towards it. Yeah.
What the next Doctor Strange is literally like called Doctor Strange in the multiverse.
Madness of the multiverse. Yeah. So like, absolutely. Far From Home, I think the new Spider-Man's more like. Well, if we're to believe, we know oh god, Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 is going to be
yeah.
in it, and so there's obviously
my
multiverse
God,
going
can't
on
wait.
there.
Yeah.
That's going to be so good. So
And
obviously
yeah,
he
because
wants to go
Andrew
multiverse.
Garfield and Tobey Maguire might be.
They're not confirmed, but like
They're
everyone's
not
they're-
confirmed.
they're
But they're
confirmed
absolutely
here.
not going to be in it. That's all Marvel. They're not in it. I absolutely confirmed they're not in it. No.
They're just like,
No
yeah,
way at
they
all.
are definitely.
Don't mind all those
Yeah.
photos of Tobey Maguire on set.
No,
Don't worry
they're
about
definitely no, they are not in it. But yeah, so obviously we're setting up, and then at the end of the second episode, I actually went back and watched the second episode to pure enjoyment of. I thought the second episode's fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially with the end where Sylvie bombs the timeline, and that's
so
where
good.
that's where I was thinking, okay, this is where you're creating the different multiverses now. So I'm expecting to see. Because I made a mistake of googling the cast list before we started this, and I've seen some names that apparently show up in future episodes, and I'm like, I don't believe any of it. I don't believe
do that.
because I don't believe in it. There is one actor who's confirmed to be in the show. He's not shown up yet, but
Is it Terry
want some-
Crews?
I wish it was Terry
Oh, I
Crews.
wish it was Terry Crews.
It's Richard E. Grant.
Wow, really?
Everyone like God, he was the villain, quote unquote, in Logan, the old English,
Yeah.
an older English guy.
Yeah.
He's shown up. He is confirmed. They said they already cast him. They've announced that he's going to be in it. So I'm thinking old man Loki.
Or
Maybe
one
later
of,
on.
one of the Time Lords.
One of the time
Lords.
time lords. Let's call him. Yeah.
Which
But
call
anyway,
Time
No, we're
Lords.
just-
we can get back onto them anyway. So is there anything from episode 1 that you guys want to talk about? I'm just trying to think. Apparently, I will say there is a Peggy Carter cameo in episode 1.
Yeah, I keep seeing like the screen caps of that. I'm like, that's a real fucking grab shot in the
Yeah,
dark.
that's
kind
a
of thing.
stretch
It's a
there,
real stretch
boys.
there, lads.
What is this? Blue Box Studios and Abandon?
It's you know, I will say like you can obviously say lots of things that you love from the first episode. It's one of those things where I would give it like a good 8.5 out of 10. It's just because there's little things here and there that I'm just like, and it's not even that because it's particularly bad. I was just like, oh, it's just little things that are just averagely done. You know, it's like everything's
Although-
like Tom Hiddleston's acting's amazing. Owen Wilson, it's like, and their kind of whole like, I don't know,
Buddy Cop.
yeah,
Their
buddy
banter.
cop. They're essentially their banter and stuff like that. But it is like, and I absolutely do love the comedy in it because it really brings back Loki's flavor of comedy into it. But there's a couple of times here and there where I'm just like, you didn't need to make that a comical moment, and it's just kind of,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And there's a few little bits like that throughout episode 1 that I'm just like, yo, 8.5 is a really good score. It's just, you know, I'm not going to give it a perfect, you know. It's just because there are little parts during that episode where I'm like, oh, you know, that's a little bit of a flat part, you know.
And one of the things I was definitely concerned about with the first episode was they looked like from the very, very beginning they looked like they were going to continue with this sort of theme that Loki was kind of like oftentimes the butt of a joke. That they, you know, he wasn't actually taken, like, no one really takes Loki like from a
Seriously,
viewer
yeah.
perspective. No one really takes Loki all that seriously in
absolutely
terms of like a
Oh, really?
like yeah, his serious is in like as Tom Hiddleston, he's amazing, and the character is fun and very enjoyable, but not in the sense of he's actually going to do something that will either succeed
Yeah,
or
exactly.
he'll say all his "don't I'm a god" thing, and
Oh
then
my God,
something
but-
hilarious will happen to him to make haha god,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
whole, like Doctor Strange when he went
Yeah.
through the whole, all that kind of stuff, and then
I think
immediately at the
so.
beginning. And then immediately, you know, that's exactly it. Like he tries to be all like bravado and then gets
Yeah.
made into a fool, kind of a thing. And then immediately he gets hit in the face with that sort of weird prattle,
Cattle
which is
prod.
really cool.
that just like, which looked amazing. Though.
Looked
That was
amazing.
fantastic.
That
looked
was
That's
fantastic.
fantastic. But they did sort of stop doing that a bit, which I'm delighted
Yeah.
with, because I don't want him to just always be the butt of a joke, because
Yeah.
that gets tiresome, especially if he's supposed to be a main character.
Yeah.
That would get tiresome very bloody quickly.
And obviously
Yeah.
as well, because there is supposed to be a coming from a main character point of view, you're supposed to develop that character throughout your series. If you're just going to continuously make him a butt of a joke, it's going to fall very
stale.
flat, you know. It's going to
Yeah, because Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Kyle, as well. Because I don't. Yeah, Loki to me has never been threatening or menacing
No.
or any
No.
way like that. So we see him getting hit in the face at the start of it, and then he has that moment where he's like, he has the joke of like, "Oh, what if I'm not real?" Or then when he's waiting in line to be
he's like,
processed.
"Where's my ticket?"
One guy's
He's
like,
searching it.
he's like, "I got my ticket, I got my
Here it
ticket."
is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't
and then
vaporize me.
pretty much after that, he was like, "Okay, it's serious. We'll stop that," because it's almost was what you expect. You expect him to be the butt of the joke, and then they slowly.
I think very much an episode like 2 and 3, you start getting a lot more of the serious sides of Loki, and not even like a serious side, but you see him helping and actively being a part of the episode rather than just being like
an acid as well.
an
Yes,
actual asset. Like in episode 2 where he stumbles upon the fact that the variant of Loki is traveling between the destructions.
Masters.
What a cool outcome!
Very cool idea.
What a cool idea!
Cool.
Very
like,
cool.
I would.
Very clever. I thought you look at that. It's not like one of those things where they just throw out a bunch of pseudoscience at you and you're just made to accept it because they said words that you have to look up and source for. Yeah, believe it because we decide that's true.
Believe
It's actually like this makes perfect sense.
It kind of actually makes sense, no matter what that person does.
If we're opening up the realms of actual time travel, the idea of hiding in a place that's going to be destroyed, therefore doesn't create any other time.
Your presence isn't going to make any difference.
Yeah, because they're all going to die anyway. Very smart.
What a great idea.
Top marks for whoever came up with that goal.
The only thing I will say on that though is that it's in the first episode where Owen Wilson's character, Mobius gets the bubble gum that he gets from like the church, and I'm like, and he's like, "Oh, we ran all the kind of tests and we never found out," and they're like, "You just never thought to look where that bubble gum was from, what year?"
Yeah, I know that was a bit of it's like,
but I can forgive them for that, like because they were like, "Yeah, we did all these tests and all this blah blah blah." I was like, "You just never thought to look at what year it's from."
Yeah, or like what region it was.
Small thing. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but when they revealed that the person that was hunting them and killing them was Loki, I had two theories in my head immediately. One of them was correct. One of them being, it's going to be a female Loki.
It's Lady Loki.
100%.
Yeah, that was kind of spoiled for me.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. No, I heard like a good while ago. Sorry to cut across. I just heard a while ago there was going to be variants of Loki's like in it, and that Lady Loki was supposed to be in it.
Oh man. Sorry, where he won the Tour de France?
Yeah.
Or he was this obscene abomination.
Yeah.
Just Tom Hiddleston's face. What the fuck?
Yeah, the variants are. I hope we actually get to kind of see
a couple of them.
Some of them later on. That would be great.
Tour de France.
Yeah, that's amazing.
For some reason, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go as mission. I'm gonna go win the Tour de France. It's fine."
The other theory I had, which I'm so happy I was wrong, because it seemed like one of those things that they definitely could have easily done, but it has been something that has been done so many bloody times that it's painfully obvious. Which would be, because this is time and shit, that the Loki they're hunting is this Loki just in the future.
That's when I first went into it. I was like, "Oh, is this going to be like just an evil version of Tom Hiddleston, and Tom Hiddleston's going to be playing like both roles of it?" I'm so happy they went with a female Loki instead.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy they went for a female Loki instead. I'm not happy with who they chose as female Loki, and I do not like this person's portrayal of this character.
You don't like Sophie Di
Mattino? I think she's doing a good job.
I think so far she's awful. Honest to God, do not like her at all. I, as now on episode 3, do not like her as a character. She just seems incredibly one-dimensional. She was only interesting before she started to have sort of a personality. When she was this mysterious figure that was coming up with these plans and all this stuff, was like, oh my God, this sounds awesome. This sounds like this is going to be some really I'm gonna say old Loki, but in some way just really experienced, like has lived through, could have been any kind of Loki, doesn't matter about that, but had loads of experience, trials and errors, all those goof moments and things like that, but is now like razor focused Loki, like Loki at his deadliest kind of a way. And then she kind of just, the character then kind of was like, I'd never found that there was any charm. There was any sort of, like, even Loki was given out that this Loki wasn't really Loki. Because he lacked all these characteristics. All these characteristics that make Loki a Loki. Because, like, and this goes into more things I had problems with it as well. Because, like, the whole point of Loki to me anyway, was this guy was not good at fighting first and foremost. They decided to just change that very quickly in 2 episodes because he got beaten up by a guy in a shop who, but remember, was just a human.
Just a human.
He was enchanted, yes, but was a human. Loki might not be Asgardian, but he's still a freaking frost giant.
He's half. Like he can.
He's a freaking frost giant.
Oh,
he should be able
full,
to.
Yeah.
He could throw a punch and like split someone in half. Like should be able to.
I know that in comparison to an Asgardian or the superhero sort of power level in terms of strength and like martial combat, he's basically nothing in comparison. But to the average Joe, he got beaten up by a guy in a shop. But then the very next like scene and stuff, he was beating up these guards that one-shot at him all of a sudden. And it's like, make up your mind. Is he like, Loki's supposed to literally be, he is no way at all is he going to beat you with bronze. Like, not going to happen. He's going to beat you by manipulating you, by tricking you, by all these kind of things. That's what makes Loki not just any kind of bad guy villain. Because right now, again, it's episode 3, so I'm totally like, I've not made up my mind about this Loki at all. It's episode 3. There's a long way still to go for her own character arc to change and differ, whatever. But as it stands right now, take away the fact that she's Loki. Just literally take that away from her. Is the character actually any good? I would say genuinely from the standpoint, no.
I mean,
nothing unique about her character. She is evil villain who kind of.
We don't really know what her plan is. That's my issue.
No.
It's like we don't exactly know what she's doing.
I think she's doing a good
still open
job.
to it.
I think she's doing a good job on being on screen and just her presence. There are a few faults that I do have with her that, you know, for example, she was like purely trying to kill Loki quite quickly when she was on the train, just kind of slipped into I'm absolutely comfortable talking to you about some past kind of stuff. And I know there was that kind of connection where they're like Loki's mother was brought into it, so there was like this little thing where she like kind of let her guard down. That's fine, but I just think that they developed into that. Oh, we're kind of okay with each other now too quickly.
We're friends now.
Yeah. One of the things I will say is that, and I think that she's very much pushing straight out, and I'm really intrigued to why this is kind of happening, is she's very much from the start said, don't call me Loki. I am not Loki. I'm not that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
She's
so
Sylvie.
Yeah, she's Sylvie. So I kind of think that the fact that like Loki's like, oh, you don't have the characteristic of Loki. It's like, it's very much plain and simple is that she's not a Loki anymore. She's gotten away from that. So I think that's kind of one of the reasons why she's not very much like Loki.
Yeah,
you know?
they're definitely mixing Lady Loki or female Loki with Sylvie Henderson, who is in the comics is called the Enchantress, who is the daughter of Loki.
Loki.
So they're kind of mixing. So yeah, in my eyes, I kind of do agree. I was like, I don't really see her as a Loki. I more see her as Enchantress.
Yeah, I think
well,
at the moment as well.
I don't know what way they're going with it.
I more see her as Enchantress as well, personally.
But just I don't know what it was. I just couldn't believe her as being like in any way so far this is the main antagonist. I know it's only been 3 episodes, hasn't necessarily been a big build up, but at the same time, it kind of just as it stands feels like she's kind of like a lackluster Bond villain.
I think that's what Marvel's doing, because Marvel has done this plenty of times before where they introduce the antagonist to very quickly switch that to being, oh wait, they're actually not the antagonist. That's not the person the series is. Like, I don't think the whole idea behind, I think from the start it was kind of a false thread of the main antagonist for this entire season is supposed to be the variant Loki. And then very quickly it's like, oh wait, she's actually not the overall antagonist. She just happens to be the starter of what's to be led down the road kind of thing.
Yeah, it's looking to me anyway that they might be building up that
the Time
It's
Lords
it's
are
obvious.
the,
It's obvious to say that the TVA, but maybe not even the TVA, but the Time
a time, yeah,
Lords or
Lords.
yeah,
gods.
the Time Lords.
They're the villain. But here's my theory. I'll know I'll jump to Terry. They're not real. They don't exist.
I don't. Yeah,
Either they don't exist or they're already dead, and the TVA are just making it up as they go.
yeah,
along.
as they go along. Yeah,
That's my I would say theory, but a lot of people think that. So yeah, I don't think Sylvie is going to be the overarching
Main bad person. No.
bad of this whole show. I don't know who is. Like it could be let me get her name here now because I have it. Loki himself. Ravonna, who is the kind of head judge character.
Yeah.
I do apologize. I can't pronounce the actress's name. She's doing a good job from so far. I
very
can't
good
pronounce her
actress.
name. I do apologize. There's a few actresses' names in the show I can't pronounce. I do apologize. Like Hunter B15. I really like her.
I love her. And
the kind of the main security guard person.
She is in Lovecraft Country, and she did an amazing job in that as well.
I don't trust you. When they give the daggers,
literally just immediately comes into frame and grabs it off him. Nope. And puts it away.
I think she's doing a fantastic job. And even when the part in episode 2 where she's taken over by
when she
Sylvie's,
gets enchanted,
and it just that switch straight away in character is it's a real
props to the actress.
Props to the actress for being able to switch
straight
that.
badass to I'm just gonna float around the place. I like it.
This is what I had a problem with though, is because the two people that she took over, sounded and acted better than her. That's kind of what
I would say.
They were mimicking. All three of them actually came across to me as being more Loki-ish than her, which the person who's actually been hired to play it. Like, I don't know what it was, but like literally, like again, first person took over, the main guard person started talking all. Like again, make up your mind. Are you supposed to be Loki or not? Because it's like she was talking pretty Loki like when, and even Loki was like, "Oh, no wonder Thor gets frustrated. This is what it's like to talk to me."
Yeah, it's talk to me.
So like, So then is she like Loki or fucking not?
Don't know, man.
You keep. It's changing so frequently in a matter of scenes, and that's what's kind of annoying me. Is like, make up your mind.
Make up your mind what to.
Since when could Loki levitate? By the way, or the building came crashing down, and Loki, I got it, and moved the building back up.
Right.
We have a theory.
There is before you jump into the theory, and one of the interesting things, and I kind of forgot myself, is if you look back in Thor: Dark Worlds when he's held captive underneath Asgard, there is the part where he gets so angry he uses his telekinetic powers and smashes the chairs across the room and stuff like that. So he does have some sort of telekinetic powers. Now, in terms of...
That's a far stretch from breaking a few chairs to literally pushing an entire building back up.
Completely. I do completely agree. But I think one of the things about Loki is we're never quite shown his full strength or power. Purely because it's Loki, because he doesn't want to give away too much. He's kind of hiding
because he had all his cards on the table when he was trying to take over in the Avengers in the first one.
I don't know. I don't think he was.
He had no reason at all to be holding back then, and to go from literally he did not use anything except the Tesseract and his own manipulation, which is fine because that's what he's been known as, not been able to take you on in combat. But to be able to manipulate you and all this kind of. But then he started shooting green freaking balls of whatever.
That one I'm not quite sure about.
He's never done that before.
Now, to be fair, going back to Avengers, just quickly, there is later on in the movies where Loki turns around and he's like, "Do you really think I wanted to do that?" kind of thing, where he's like, I wasn't too full into taking over. I was kind of pushed into that, and I did it because I was terrified.
Don't buy that.
I don't know, because
if you're terrified, you don't scream at a bunch of Germans to kneel.
But again, this is one of the things that again was brought in later on, where people were like, it's a big jump, and even Thor was kind of it's a big jump from the trickery that Loki once did to jumping into trying to take over Midgard. It's he was that's a big jump just Loki kind of pulling tricks and doing stuff like that to taking over Earth, you know?
But at the same time, we have known Loki's character for literally years now.
Oh yeah, no, I will.
Even at the first episode, his sort of power, you could say, did not change or alter whatsoever. It was only in the second episode that he suddenly got new powers, and in the third episode, even more, to the point where he also he got his ass kicked by the enchanted fella in a department store, but then could 1v1 other Loki to a kind of stalemate at several times. So is he shit at fighting or not?
Yeah, but like Loki,
she also shit at fighting.
Yeah, but Loki is supposed to be.
But she's
good at it. Yeah,
but Loki is supposed
to be doing mad flips and shit, just flipping over the place.
But Loki is supposed to be fairly efficient with knives. Even I think it's in Thor 1 when he's he's able to take on frost giants when he's fighting with Thor alongside him.
Only because, again, he used his magic first. He made copies of himself that would trick people into
I'm not. Look, I'm not going to say that he doesn't use trickery and kind of, double imagery and stuff like that for himself. But I think it's one of the canonical things of Loki is supposed to be quite efficient with knives. So I'm not going to go...
Yeah.
He's not
clearly. Look how he does all the time. He shoots out of his arm.
And stuff. I'm not gonna say. It was a little stupid that he got his ass handed to him. I think that's just an overlooked kind of a thing.
I was happy with that. I was actually happy with that. I thought this is. I know. Granted, I did think even with a normal person as a frost giant, he should have absolutely been able to knock this guy out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
but it still remains somewhat true. You could say to the narrative that Loki again. He's not good in the physical confrontation, which is why he resorts to his actual means of mischief and trickery, because that's where he brings up his shortcomings.
And it's kind of funny because it mirrors going back to Avengers, where he's there with Hulk and he's like, "But I am a god," and then Hulk just starts smashing him across the floor and stuff like that, And I know the Hulk is the Hulk, of course, but it's kind of a mimicry of that. Like, it is very much like Loki is not a fighter.
And he didn't die. He didn't die, remember? He actually got smashed through about a few inches of floor and just went, "Oh!" But could get knocked away, practically unconscious by, again, a dude.
I think it's just one of those oversights kind of thing where it's like we're trying to write a bloody show, kind of thing.
I know, but it's that level of just really strange inconsistency.
Yeah, no, I will agree.
Mm-hmm. The
theory you were,
So Kyle, do us a favor after this is all over. Go back and watch that scene where the building's fallen and he's like, "I got this." He does the whole thing. Yeah. Building stops and then it goes back up.
Yeah, it makes it look like he reversed. He looked like he reversed time.
He did. Isn't that strange? And what did he pick up out of the drawer in the TVA? A time stone. The green time stone.
And what is Loki very good at doing?
Tricking people.
Yeah. And that's possibly also where he shot like a green blast. That could be related to the time stone. I think he has a time stone.
I think a lot of
people go back and look at it, because if you look at the base of the building where it cracks, the dust reverses back.
The dust literally reverses back. Yeah,
everything reverses back up to go back.
Can you imagine? Now I'm just going to go straight to it. Can you imagine this was like everyone's kind of reading into the fact that the building just went backwards and went in? Picture this. What if it was literally just the VFX artists that were just like, "Oh man, it's going to take ages to kind of VFX the building going back. Can we just rewind it? And it's much easier." Nobody's gonna notice. Nobody's gonna notice.
Let's just do it. It's fine.
It's fine. Nobody's gonna notice. And then everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's rewinding."
They're like, "Oh,
use the time stone." So, Jimmy, I told you to do one job and you just didn't do it.
The only problem I have with him taking the time stone, right, is first of all, why just the time stone? Second of all, you had the Tesseract and a bunch of other ones that were in there, which were like the space stone. If it doesn't work while you're in the DVA, But obviously, if the theory is that because he's now out of the TVA, he's in another planet or whatever, the time stone now works. Why would he not have taken the space
Why
one
not take everything else?
the second he got out of there, just went, see ya.
Maybe it's because the whole show is just revolving around time, so they just want to kind of keep that looped in. Maybe it's just kind of an overall kind of a thing of, oh yeah, you know, he could pick any stone, but it's a time TV show, so let's try to get the time stone in it. Maybe
see, now that is not good enough.
It's not good enough. No,
that
it
is not
is
good enough.
absolutely not.
That is a shit reason. To
Now
do
it
that.
could be.
Well, it was more in keeping with the
team. Now it could also be. It could also be an overall thing of Loki thinking, you know, 2 steps ahead, where he's like, you know, I can get a lot more use out of a time stone than maybe one of the other ones. Like,
he could have taken both.
oh well, he could have taken all 5.
There were so many spares in there. Like, if he took one, why did he stop there? And also, why would he take the time one specifically when he knows how to work the Tesseract, the space one, so much more efficiently? I'll if it is in the time stone, if it ends up being the time stone thing, fair enough. If it ends up that he didn't take anything else, that's dumb.
That's the problem of doing a mid-season fucking thing where like we know
we're so wrong about everything.
I love it. It's my favorite thing to do.
Next time we do this, I'll be saying female Loki favorite character.
We never know. We never know.
Okay,
I hope she gets better.
We're kind of heading over the hour mark now. Is there anything you guys kind of want to talk about? Because I know we've pointed out a couple of loves and a couple of dislikes. Any more, a few?
What I do want to say 2 things.
Too many.
Two things too many.
You get one.
Okay. Which one do I want to talk about more?
I'm joking.
Can I just comment on how good just the set design and everything of the show is? The 70s aesthetic of everything. It's so nice.
One of the things I actually
all
wanted
of
to
time and space. Why did they pick the 70s?
Why did they pick the 70s?
Do you know, I was gonna say, because is there any like kind of episodes or like any moments that you kind of want to talk about before talking about like the set design and the cinematography of the entire show and how it looks?
Well, fuck me then. I'll go talk about.
No, because we've talked a bit about episode 1 and 2. We've kind of touched on episode 3, but is there anything like in episode 3 that I know, like Kyle, you were talking about kind of Sylvia as kind of a character being like the one of the flaws that you found. Yeah. Did you enjoy anything that was overall in the 3rd episode?
I really enjoyed that one take at the end.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
That last like 5 minutes of that show is very good. I'm a sucker for one takes.
I'm such a sucker for one takes.
I love one takes, and as much as like I'm lukewarm on Sylvie because I don't understand her.
Yeah.
I don't know what she wants.
Yeah.
You know, she's doing something.
We don't know why.
But we don't know why she's doing it. But I did like their conversation. I did like that. I did like that WandaVision gave us the fantastic quote of what is love if not grief persevering? You know, which is a beautiful
It's an invisible dagger, you idiot.
Yeah, and then I love this one was like, no, it's an invisible dagger.
I thought I was onto something right there.
I imagine they wrote the Loki episode and they didn't know that WandaVision was doing the same quote. Like shit, we've just ruined it. Or I'd like if every Marvel TV show from now on had a different idea of what love is. What is love?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Guardians to be like, what is love?
What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
What else? What else did I like in the 3rd episode?
Very little for me.
Tom Hiddleston singing and being drunk is so good.
I did like his singing.
Which was Norwegian, but apparently if you turn on the subtitle, it's an Asgardian song.
Oh yeah,
of course.
And I did appreciate
Asgardian song.
And I did appreciate that he's like, I'm not drunk, I'm full. And bear in mind, I am very full. But apparently the Norwegian word for being drunk is full. So I'm full. I'm very full. It's 1 and 2 are definitely my favorites. God, I love
100%.
Yeah,
I think other than the singing, I can't pick a particular point in the third episode where I actually thought this was good. As in, like, I actually thoroughly enjoyed that scene. I laughed or went, oh, that was really good, or that was really great. While in episode 1 and 2, it was a lot of things I really liked. While episode 3 was just very lukewarm throughout the whole thing for me. It's like, it was part of it. It gets you to somewhere else.
I was
story,
expecting
obviously.
it to be, because I just knew when 2 ended, I was like, okay, he's going with Sylvie, and now the next episode is going to be like Sylvie's master plan.
Yeah.
And it's what we got, but also not what we got.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I did also like the confirmation as well that TVA agents are just variants.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
Which opens up a whole big thing of who are all these people now.
Yeah.
Just also, what a kind of low blow that happened. If you remember with the Enchantress, with female Loki, how recall to me again how she described it, that how she enchants people, and of what variety of mind they must have in order to make it easily. So it didn't work on Loki because of his mind being too complex. It didn't work on a random guard at one point because apparently that random guard's mind was too complex.
Oh, in the TVA?
Yeah. So
that's explained. Their powers
don't work in the TVA.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Because remember when Loki's on trial and he's like, yeah, I've got your answer right here. And he's like, that's right here. That's right. Yeah, their powers don't work in the TVA. I thought the same thing until after it, when I was on Reddit and people were like, oh, that's why. Because I was like, wait, why the fuck? They never explained why that didn't work.
But also, because if it was just a case of this person was too whatever complex, something like that, it would have been some dig at the head of the guards who got easily fucking manipulated. Then it's like, so they just basically like in that second episode just decided to say, "Ha, he's stupid.
You're stupid."
Carry on and just be like, Jesus, this is a bit of a low blow, isn't it?
Also, there is a big theory out there now that episode 3 takes place either in Sylvie's mind or it's taking place in Loki's mind, because she says, "Oh, if they're super powerful, it takes a long time, and you gotta keep there and." I'm in control, but they're also in control of themselves, and the two of them are obviously in control in that episode. And she does try to enchant him, and it fails.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "What are you doing?" And as if he was trying to reverse it back on her. So there is a chance, because okay, this is a really fucking like, I have no idea if this could even be a thing or not, but in the very opening scene of episode 3, when Sylvie is talking to one of the hunters, the hunter that she took, they're sitting like left and right in the cafe, right? And then if you look on the train, it's the same thing. It's left and right.
Left and right.
I don't know if that's just a complete coincidence or not.
I think it's entirely plausible for one reason. For one reason. No. I think it's genuinely plausible because
absolutely.
What do you recall happened before she tried to enchant him? What was the question that was being asked?
Oh, go for it, because
where did you put the Yokama bomb? And then she tried to enchant him. What question did she ask repeatedly afterwards?
Where is the
yoke? What question? What was happening when the hunter person was being questioned was, where are these? Where are the Time Lords? So there is a question there that is being asked repeatedly, which is what she did with the guy.
It's very plausible.
There is a chance that entire third episode is in one of their heads. Yeah. Also, when Loki took out the time thing and it was broken, what are the chances that was just an illusion, and it's not actually broken?
Yeah, massively. I mean, it is Loki.
I mean, like, something obviously has to happen, because literally it's either it was not really broken, or there is no episode 4 because the moon crashed into the planet and they're all dead.
No, Owen Wilson just like opens a portal. He's like, "Hey guys,
I was fully expecting at the end of this episode. I was waiting for the end of the episode for Owen Wilson to show up and be like, "Yeah, come on." I'm like,
I loved that the episode literally just ended.
Ends right there.
Yeah.
I still feel like it's going to be something simple. I feel like Owen Wilson's going to show up and be like, "Yeah, come on, let's go."
That would be so cheap.
I hope it's not. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Yeah. I will say, as I said, I hope not.
I really hope not. Because also, again, there is no way they could know that they were there, because again, they're part of an apocalyptic event.
Yep.
So
that's true.
Also inconsistency as well, which makes no sense. Just going to bring it out there. the thing that happened in Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was considered a level 10 apocalyptic. I think they said that it was. Now this is when they're gearing up. Now everyone, this is a level 10 apocalyptic event. Do you remember what? Because they said it's on the note. What level they gave the apocalypse of Ragnarok on Asgard?
Oh, 8.
7.
A 7. Sorry, yeah.
A level 7.
Lower.
So pray tell, please, pray tell, how is it that the disaster of Alabama? Now let's assume that all of Alabama is gone.
Yeah,
Let's go one step further. The U.S. itself ceases to exist as we know it in 2050.
Why? Because Alabama's gone?
Asgard was... No, I'm saying like Alabama's gone. Let's say it didn't even end there. It just started
It just
there.
kept going. It just kept, yeah, it kept going.
Even if it destroyed all of the states afterwards. Asgard was a planet that was literally annihilated from the foundations.
Yeah,
there was
like
nothing
most
left.
of the citizens rescued.
It was dust. No, it wasn't. Many died. Hell, I saw to that.
Well, that was beforehand. That wasn't the apocalyptic event, though. Surtur was the apocalyptic event.
Sure, but they still had, I think, something like 9,000 survivors was written on it.
Yeah, something like that.
I thought that was
like 9,000.
And then
I was like, how many was survived?
And then post Thanos, there was a lot less.
About 4,000. But like, how, pray tell, explain to me
is that
how
lower?
that is considered a level, not just one level lower, not just one, 3 levels lower.
Yeah, I have a feeling
How
that
is
was put
that
in
a
there.
level 7?
I feel like that was put in there for comedic effect. I don't know.
How is that funny?
I don't know how it's funny. I think people be like, "Ah, look at it, haha, it's funny. That's lower."
Yeah, I want a goddamn explanation how that was a level 7. But Alabama is a level goddamn 10.
Level 10.
Because it's America.
What does this rating go to, by the way? Is it 15, 100, 20?
Maybe it's a reverse. Maybe a 1 is the most the worst.
Wait.
Then what the hell is a level 1?
It's like a DEFCON. That's like DEFCON 1. You know, it's like that's the most.
Time itself.
I remember. I don't know. I just remember this right now. I might need to check this up again, but I don't think the Alabama thing was a level 10 apocalyptic event. I think it was a level 10 hurricane that was hitting, because I remember reading something on one of the subreddits about Loki and all that like meteorologists these days, hurricanes only go up to 8, so they're like, haha, in 2050 we have to have 2 more levels for 10. I don't know. I will have to go double check that. I
feel like the head of the guards literally said we're going into a level 10 apocalyptic event.
Cool. I will bow to your greater knowledge on it, because you've seen the episode a lot more recent than I have. So I
today
go with you on this today. Yeah. Enjoy your day off today, Kyle. By the way, watching Loki.
I did.
Yeah, there you go. All right, cool. Mr. Manager Man.
I will say, kind of moving off from like, because we'll try and wrap it up because we don't want to speak too long. But I will say, the reason why I love, the one reason why I really enjoyed episode 3 was the cinematography in that entire episode.
It's a beautiful episode.
That like purple pinky hue out of the entirety of that. Everyone's really well cast in like shadow and like there's lovely balancing tones. And then when they get in the city, there's like that cyberpunk neon retro kind of feel and like kind of slums. I think that entire episode looked. Yeah, V was over there in the corner with his mantis blades. I absolutely like. I'm really impressed with how it looks so far. But
I'm surprised he just wasn't halfway in a wall or something. You know?
Oh yeah, he just glitched.
He was.
Oh god, that's why. Yeah.
At that point, the wall had fallen on top of him.
Yeah. That was one of the.
But he was still hacking away.
But he was still. I'm like, I'm fine.
That was one of the cuts that they had throughout the one take. But yeah, visually, episode 3.
Beautiful. I think you can say that for every single episode of every Marvel, even Marvel movie. They're very beautifully shot, very well shot. They look very nice.
Yeah.
They like color, which is good.
They do like their color. I love the color of the show. Yeah.
You know what, DC? Sometimes there's more than just black and gray.
Marvel's
you can try it. There's other colors, but those two.
Marvel's grading is probably one of the nicest grades you will ever see in
it's
an entire...
so vibrant. It's so vibrant. It's so colorful.
But
it's so pleasant to look at.
But like they always have that nice little just balance of like, do you know the way when you would see in like CSI Miami, New York, and Vegas?
No.
Right. Let me do it in a Terminator.
Oh, sorry. there you go.
Terminator. Do you know by Terminator when they
CSI.
go into the future, they have that nice like bluey tone.
Yeah.
And
that,
when they
like,
go
blue
into the present
everything.
day, they have like kind of, standard neutral kind of grade to it. It's like Marvel do a great job with that. Where I know it's very vibrant, but a lot of their show, like the movies, are graded in a certain tint towards the character.
Very good. Yeah. I really like it.
I love that.
What I was gonna say? I'm gonna say one last thing. Do you have any theories? Anything in the future? Do you want to have a theories of why Mobius was like? Oh, I don't remember putting the whiskey glass down there. Also, this is from the pen that you got from one of your other agents. It was a very specific call out there of that, which from Franklin Delano Roosevelt High School. Which when I first saw it, I was like, "That's Spider-Man," so it's not.
They are 100% not the only. It's not just them that reboot people; they get rebooted all the time. That's my theory.
Absolutely,
they get rebooted all the time.
Yeah.
It's like that. Oh God, what movie
I think
was
it's
it
once they fail, like they get replaced.
I don't know, but once they start
variant.
asking questions, they get rebooted. It's
Yeah.
like that. I can't remember what movie it was in again, but they literally
Oh my God,
go
it's like
through.
the Geth from Mass Effect.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what movie it was, but if it's like they get put into such a secret, it's like the most top secret place ever, and they're like being brought in there, and they like wave at this guy, and is like, "Oh hey Mark," is like, "How's your first day?" "Great, it's really good," and like, he walks by, like he's been here for 30 years.
Oh, that's Doctor Who.
Is that Doctor Who?
Yeah, it's Doctor Who. It's the episode
It
when
is
they
Doctor
go
Who,
in below the MI6.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Like, they get
That's your
rebooted.
first
I
day.
remember that.
Yeah, they get their memory
that's what
wiped
I-
every day.
Every
Was that
single day.
Was that a Matt Smith or a David?
That's a
Yeah,
Matt
that's
Smith
a
episode.
Matt
That
Smith.
is
Matt
that
Smith.
is
Yeah,
the
Doctor.
day of the Doctor. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, the Doctor.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
Doctor.
the movie, quote unquote. Yeah,
It's the
okay.
special.
Okay.
Special.
That's the 50th anniversary. Yeah, I gotcha. I remember. I don't remember that scene, but I remember the movie. Yeah. All I will
That's
say
what
is
I think is going on.
I don't
Yeah,
think I don't think it's a
I don't
memory
think you're
wipe.
wrong.
I don't think it's a memory wipe. I think they're picking like so because there's obviously more than one person proven by Loki having multiple versions of himself as a variant. I think they're essentially once one of the variants of the TVA are kind of either killed or they find out too much, they're disposed of, and then another variant of themselves is taken along and
brought in.
and replaced, and that's why they're
Maybe.
kind of like, I don't remember doing that. Kind of thing.
Maybe, yeah. It's yeah, because it was a very specific call out of like, oh, maybe this is from your other TVA agent.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I will say two final things on closing. Oh, well, I've already given my theory of that timelines are not there. The TVA are making this stuff all along, and there is some other villain out there pulling the strings. Will we see Kang? Maybe Kang is a really famous time traveling conqueror in the
and,
Marvel comics.
He
who
had been
is-
cast.
He is cast in Ant-Man and the
Ant-Man,
Wasp,
yeah,
Quantumania.
Quantumania.
So,
I cannot wait
is
for
Kang,
that.
Is Kang gonna show up in it?
I can wait for that. I can't wait the Ant-Man
I
movies.
love Kang.
Oh.
I love Kang.
And
And
is
particularly,
like
the he is being cast. I completely forget the name of the actor, but again, he is also from Lovecraft Country. He was the main role in
was.
Lovecraft
Christopher
Country.
Walken.
Christopher Walken.
I would
yeah.
love to get Christopher Walken in a Marvel movie. Just give me him in anything.
You
Come on.
know,
You know.
time is
I used to be Iron Man
concept.
in my timeline. Yeah, I would love to just get him in
all-
there anyway.
relative.
It's all relative. Yeah, so like
Bar
Two-
that, genuinely, I do not know where the hell Loki's going. Not unlike when I saw Loki originally first, I was like, that looks really
Don't worry,
good.
Brian, you'll get your points across soon.
Yeah, don't worry, Brian. It's like
I'm well
watch
used to it.
Watch it. Yeah, it's fine. We're used to cutting across each other.
Sorry, I'm not because I listen.
Hey, you have cut across me multiple times before. We are not going to talk about this.
In comparison now, yeah.
No, in comparison, no, absolutely not. I will say, not unlike when I saw the trailer, I was like, that looks really good. No idea what it's about. I have kind of still don't know where Loki is going. Now, Brian, you did say to me though, and you made a good call at the end of season 2, not season 2, episode 2. You said to me, I think that they have all those like apocalyptic events. I think the rest of the episodes are going to be them traveling through the apocalyptic events, and what happened in episode 3, an apocalyptic event, and I think I would like to see that actually as well. It would also follow suit for that Doctor Who.
I think we might see some other timelines of other Lokis and stuff. I think, which I'd be absolutely.
The Tour de France Loki.
Yeah. Can we just replace actual Loki with Tour de France Loki?
Just bring him in. Just bring him in for like 2 minutes.
And I hope he has a really bad French accent.
Yeah.
30 seconds even. Yeah. Just let this person be an actual character for like 30 seconds. That's all we need. Just give us Tour de France Loki.
Last question. Do you think we're going to see anybody from either a previous Marvel movie show up?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think you're going to get a Doctor Strange?
Nah, don't think so.
Not Doctor Strange. No, I do think we will see someone from it, but it won't be an A-list person.
Okay. Yeah, it's not going to be Hemsworth, Chris Evans.
Yeah, it's like where they had.
I think it's a strong chance if she's still around, you might see the mother. Very possible.
No, it says technically she's still alive. She's not.
She's dead, but it depends which time variant she will go.
If only they had means of traveling around time.
Yeah.
Weird.
All I will say is then, in my closing thoughts, I will say 2 things. A lot of the TVA's problems could be solved if they just went with long-range weapons instead of batons. Just saying. Why not?
A fucking gun?
Yeah, ever have a gun, guys? Yeah. A gun that fires, I don't know, at time.
Have them.
Yeah, come on, guys. I'm just saying a lot of problems will be solved. A lot of problems.
Absolutely.
And the last thing I'll say about the whole show, I am very much enjoying it. Can't wait to see where it's going. And if this season does not end with Owen Wilson on a jet ski, I will be super disappointed.
Disappointed.
Yes, so bummed out. Let that happen.
I'm just going to say this, okay? Because we've learned that the variant, like the TVAs, are variants. Do you think that in a past life, Owen Wilson's character actually used to have a jet ski, and that's why he really wants a jet ski?
Yeah, or he's a jet ski salesman or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Absolutely.
Or like that was
his mad Californian accent and everything.
Yeah.
Or maybe like that was something. Maybe that was something he was like saving up for.
It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, and that's where we get to whoa.
It's a big wave. Just wow.
Yeah. If it doesn't end with him on a jet ski, I'll be sorely disappointed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did have one theory that immediately was proven to be incorrect. Because it was like why they were picking up why that Loki was picking up those time capsule resetter yokes.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought, because at this point I was like, it's either female Loki or it's just Loki in the future, the same one. I thought it actually I might have had something to do with Ragnarok, to be quite honest. I actually thought I didn't fully understand how they worked yet. So it kind of almost seemed like he might have went back and basically just put them all over Asgard and basically just like boop, just reset it. I mean, like how BT Dubs, I just saved all of you, so now I'm king. It's what I've always wanted. Happy days.
I was just thinking, like, do you think we're going to see Asgard again?
Yes.
There's that one shot in the trailer where he's in like kind of a golden throne room that doesn't look like Asgard. Yeah, so I think
Asgard.
Yeah, I think we see Asgard again.
I'm looking forward to seeing him in that weird, what looks like a mayor, or like a tattered mayor.
The vote for Loki, with the president thing going on. Yeah, what's going on? He's got
like this little tattered shoulder piece as well. Yeah. So he's kind of like the mayor of like, this like Fleece Town kind of a thing. Just like, I want to see that.
Yeah, I know nothing going forward now. What I love is that most of the trailer, what they showed, it happens in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe the Asgard shot and that vote for Loki shot. So, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the next episodes. If Tom Hiddleston said the next 2 are amazing, I'll believe Tom. I will believe you.
Yeah.
The next episode is like 3 days or something.
3 days away.
3 days, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah. So guys, I think we let's I suppose end it there. I think that's got a good note. We will definitely revisit Loki, obviously, when it is finished. Going forward, we will no longer have Friday episodes, but they will be replaced with these live episodes on Sunday. Hopefully they will always be at 8, but they might depend. But more likely they'll be on at 8. So, guys,
Cuts down editing time, etc. And
Absolutely.
can be
Frees up
replaced with other cool things.
like juggling or
Yes, we will
Episode
juggle.
4 of Loki.
yeah, episode 4 of Loki. So guys, you can find us on Facebook. We are the Radio Podcast. You probably won't ever see us on Instagram. And of course we are on Twitch.
One day.
Yeah, maybe one day. We are on Twitch.
Never
We will try to maybe stream a bit more. If not,
I want to stream again. I'm just so tired.
Yeah, me and Kyle are going to be streaming Operation Tango at some point this week.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That would be
commitment
really
now,
interesting,
Kyle.
guys. That'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
And I will try to keep up with my horror segment as well. So, guys, that's everything from us. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we will see you next week. Anyone
love you.
who is watching back on this again, thank you as well. So it's a bye from me.
And it's a bye from me.
Bye.
Thank you, Cal. Bye, guys.
Bye.